Become a member of the National At-Home Dad Network, an organization focused on providing advocacy, community, education, and support. Connecting with households where dad is the primary caregiver of the children. We do this through our webinar and podcast series, mental health support groups, regular online social events, as well as our annual convention. The National At-Home Dad Network is a 100% volunteer organization. Without the generous support of its members and the community around it, we would not be able to continue the work that we do. Becoming a member gives you access to past convention speaker presentations, the ability to vote for board members annually, and ensures that the organization's fees and bills are in positive standing. Oh yeah, it should not go unmentioned that there is some cool swag headed your way if you decide to become a member. For only $35 a year, your membership provides you with the exclusive content only we can generate, and you'll be supporting an organization that benefits families all around the country and world. By advocating for them, offering them community, providing education and guidance, and supporting them to grow in their parenthood journey. And one last thing, if you contribute $500 or more, you will become a lifetime member. Not only will you receive everything already mentioned, but also a certificate recognizing your status and an exclusive National At-Home Dad Network challenge coin with our trademark logo, Dads Don't Babysit. So, what are you waiting for? Become a member today. Welcome to Home Dad Chat, brought to you by the National At-Home Dad Network. My name is Brock.
My name is Danny.
We are here to talk about life as stay-at-home dads. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
No, I don't want much. I even love handmade crafts made of macaroni. Come on now, you should know me. Times I might eat too much. No worry about my weight. Got the dad bod rocking on me. Sketches on my feet. Cargo shorts look good on me. I'm a dad, that's what I do.
I know. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome back to Home Dad Chat. Danny's like, hit record. Come on, man. We're losing content here. So you know how it goes.
It's really funny. It's always because really the majority of the show, unless we have a guest, unless we have something we're specifically talking about, a lot of times it's just you and I getting together and talking about dad stuff. And I mean, normally when you and I just start the call, when, because we're on a Zoom call, that's what we talk about. It is every time. I'm like, yeah, we should just record this. We should just understand that we just, 3, 2, 1, connect and record and let's go. But,
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But yeah, no, it's I'm like I said, I'm glad that you got the memo. We're both wearing flannel today.
That's right. That's right. I didn't wear my red flannel. I did wear my greenish blue.
That's okay.
I figured it'd be all right. It matches my eyes. Right.
We can't clash. So we can't clash. But I was gonna take my flannel off and wear my t-shirt, but I'm still too chilly to do that. But I've got my FC Cincinnati shirt underneath it since they won their first playoff game.
Cool.
So yeah,
congrats. Awesome.
So that was pretty exciting this weekend. But
I have my my Gotcha Man t-shirt, which I know as much about what you just said as what I'm about to say. Gotcha Man is one of the original 60s anime. It was Battle of the Planets in America, but it was I think it was Battle of the Planets, but it was Gotcha Man. Yeah, G-Force. That's what it was. It wasn't Battle of the Planets. It was G-Force.
Yeah, that went right over my head.
Yeah. But again, that's what we do. I'm very excited for you that your team won its first playoff game.
Yeah. Well, I love the fact that you are all about the old school like animated stuff, man.
All the nerds stuff. Hey, that's it. You're a jock and I'm a nerd. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've never been referred to as a jock in my entire life.
we're crossing boundaries, man. We're juxtaposing all those high school cliques.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yikes. I just had a flashback. Made me shiver.
and scene. We're going
exactly
because high school's awful.
On to the next thing. Oh my gosh. Anyway, yeah. So it's getting chilly out there, but
yeah, and it's 36 here, which I'm. It's 7:30 here, so basically the sun's been down for only 30 minutes.
Yeah,
and it's going to be 26 tonight is our low.
Ooh, okay, it's not going to be quite that cold, but it's supposed to get down in the 30s, and they're calling for possible like snowflakes at some point. So we'll see. But
I put notes in my in my phone calendar, basically in my calendar. And every year things come back up because I'll forget to do certain things. Like I put in a note for putting up the exterior lights. Now I didn't say Christmas lights because I'm going to have them up for Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's, because they're the new LED lights. You can choose the color.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they can blink or sparkle or, run back and forth one after the other in sequence or whatever. So it's like, yeah, let's just put them up early. And I think it was Greg Clapp. It was Greg or Paul, one of the other guys, that said, yeah, you should do that. I just put them up and leave them up. And I'm like, yeah. So I put a note to do it in October, the second and third week of October. So before it got cold, because in November, it is just too cold really to want to be out there hanging lights. And if you can do it when it's warm. Yeah. So it's going to move to September for next year.
Yeah.
Because last October was not that cold. I mean, it was cool, but we definitely didn't have snow, and we've already had snow twice. So it's a big difference this year. And I love it. I love learning how to respond to what's coming up and looking at the stuff on my to-do list. I'm like, oh yeah, you need to do that a month earlier.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Let's adjust that. So it's been good.
That's cool. Yeah. We actually we're working on putting in a little like sitting area in the front of the house so that we can also put up Christmas stuff on there as well. Like for take the chairs off in the wintertime and put Christmas stuff up on there as for like a little platform area. But we have a garden that really doesn't do much of anything, and so Corey was like, let's turn it into a patio, like a nice sitting area. And I was like, yeah, we can do like a one of those smokeless fire pits and put it out there as well.
Yeah.
So that way, it doesn't take a whole lot to really deal with that. And, it's one of those deals where it's really easy if you need to pick it up. Like I can put it on, let it cool down, pick it up and put it on the porch or whatever. That way it's not like just sitting out there in the open type of deal, because that would suck to have somebody walk by and snake that. But yeah, so that's cool. One of the fun projects that we're working on right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was looking at, and I know this is going to be odd because that's what I do, is odd things, but I was looking at doing an underground greenhouse.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Because the idea of it, and it's actually a very old
like
practice.
Wait, yeah, I was gonna say, are you talking about like a root cellar? Is that what you mean?
Not really, although kind of, but you dig it down, right? But then you leave it, encase it in stone or something that will soak up a lot of heat. And then you put the greenhouse glass panels as a roof, and of course fill up the walls there too. So the sun can come in and heat it all up. And then it'll stay warmer throughout the night because the ground doesn't lose heat as quickly as the air.
Yeah.
So now I haven't convinced myself this is what I'm going to do, but I really want a greenhouse. And the problem is, of course, is it does get just stupidly cold here. And there are a lot of people that have them, but they have auxiliary heaters for them. They have ways to keep the heat going. And I'm like, if there was a way that I could mitigate that, and I think it was
a little geothermal,
a Walipipi or Wilipi or something like that. It starts with a W and there's an L and a P in it, and there's lots of I's. So whatever that word is, but it means an underground greenhouse, because they would do it like in the desert. You would keep it down below because then it wasn't as hot during the day, because the earth insulates you, and you're running it, probably, I think it's like 53 degrees or something that the ground will keep. Fairly, because that's how a root cellar works, right?
Yeah, exactly. How the root cellar works. Yeah, it's like a cave type of deal. So.
Yeah. So just the reverse, just make it to where lots of sun gets in there. And there were suggestions like, well, you get a black barrel of water and it'll soak up the heat, and it will. And it will, like if we were in Georgia, I ran my water heater. I didn't do it for long because it was a project I want to get rid of. But I produced hot water just having black barrels sitting out in a little greenhouse in the sun.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it was, it was scalding literally by the time it came through. I had 3 barrels, I'm like, yeah, I could do that, but then I'm fairly certain something would happen and they would freeze. And then I would just have busted barrels of water waiting to thaw out and just flood everything. So
yeah, up in Wisconsin, I could definitely see that being an issue. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so,
definitely. But at least a greenhouse. I need a greenhouse. I need something growing.
I feel like this time of year too, like this is sort of the either you're planning projects out for like the upcoming months, or you're trying to find that one project that maybe you can do like as it's cooling down. You're like, oh, like I can go outside and not like sweat my butt off and like actually get a project done type of deal. And I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of dads are in that place too, where they're all right, like what can I get done? What can I fix maybe that I just like let just go to the wayside all summer long, because I was like, there's no way I'm getting just like cooked working on it type of deal. And yeah, I feel like that's the kind of the season that we're in. And I love it, like honestly, because it's just like, all right, I can go out. This is a good time. Like, Corey bought 30 freaking bags of mulch while we were in Phoenix. And so that project is looming. And so just kind of getting garden beds situated and whatnot. But we're all about like definitely doing like landscaping stuff around the house. And so that's kind of our thing. I know the air project I have is I always like to just tear everything out of the garage and like reorganize it before it gets too bitterly cold. that way if I want to do a project out in the garage, I have space for it, because otherwise I'm trying to move it around when it's like freaking freezing outside, and it's like I've got to try to, we call that it's not a Jenga, but it's oh gosh, what's that puzzle that you move things, I'm talking about?
Tetris?
No, not Tetris. You remember how like you slide it, you have to like try to get it to like a certain thing?
Yeah, like it's a picture puzzle.
Yeah,
and you
that kind
move
of thing.
the pieces to make them.
It's like it feels like that. It feels like
whatever that thing is called. I actually don't know, but
I don't either. But yeah, that's the image.
yeah. I'm doing about the same. I'm going to take all of the bikes and everything and put them out into the workshop in the back. We don't have any fat tire bikes, so the kids won't be riding or anything. So I'm just going to put them back in storage, and then I'm going to put the lawnmower. Well, I'm actually going to pull the snowblower out of its storage spot and put the lawnmower into its storage spot, and get the snowblower and bring it up into the garage and all that stuff. So just to get ready, because I'm not prepared. Like if winter happened today, I would be in a little bit of trouble, but I'm like emotionally, mentally, physically ready for it to be winter, for snow to just be falling and the kids had their snowsuits and snow boots, and just, I'm really pumped for it. I'm really looking forward to it. So
I was at Costco today. Boy, they're ready for the winter. My goodness. Oh my golly. Between that and Christmas, like you walk in and it's like heavy coats and gloves and hats and you can tell that area there, like there's a lot of people that must like go skiing and whatnot, because like they had goggles and helmets and stuff, and I was like, holy cow. And then of course, like you walk down the other miscellaneous lanes and it's all the like outdoor decorations and lights and just sleds and everything else, and I was like, wow. I'm like, it's October, like there's Christmas stuff. Like there was nothing Halloween anywhere. Like all that stuff was gone. And I remember like
come on, man, we got like 2 weeks at least.
I know, I get it, but it's like, wow. Like, I mean, they must have got rid of that stuff quick, because there was a lot of stuff there just a month or so ago. But yeah, it was just funny. I walked in there, I was like, wow, like, all right, welcome to Christmas.
Yeah. I went to Lowe's looking for corn stalks because I wanted to put them around the porch columns. Just to make it look,
harvest.
a little haunted house harvest. It really changes the look of your house when you decorate it with dead plants. It's a big difference, So, but you mentioned Costco. Right? And I really want to talk about that for a moment, because there's a Costco an hour away in Appleton. Okay. There's a Sam's, which is about 30 minutes away.
Okay.
And the Sam's is not making me happy, honestly. I often go in there, and even online, I can't find some of the things that I want. And I need bulk food for the kids and everything. And it's way easier to buy, like say peanut butter. Okay. Can I buy 6 things of peanut butter? And even if they don't eat them immediately, they won't go bad. For they've got a shelf life, of course, but like that, and paper products and all that kind of thing. And I just keep going up to Sam's, and I don't know. They just don't, I'm just not happy with it. So I was thinking, well, I really like Costco, and everybody I know, including you, likes Costco. And my father-in-law introduced me to the Kirkland brand scotch.
No, it's so
which
good.
And it was cheap.
Yeah,
I
it's so
mean,
good and so cheap.
he's right, and he's got this giant. We go to California, he's got this giant bottle. He's like, "I want you to try some of the scotch," and everybody always says that to me. You never know what you're going to get into, right? And I'm like, "Sure, yeah, let me try it." And it, well, like you said, it was delicious.
Oh, it
It
is.
was. I'm
Yeah.
like, "This is really good. I like drinking this." And he's like, "Yep, Costco, $30 or
30
something like
bucks.
that."
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like a
it's just
12
like
year it's a 12-year
what?
scotch for 30 bucks. It's
It's
insane.
amazing.
Yeah.
So, but things like that, and I'm like, I really only need to go once a month, to get the major grocery items and stuff. And they do a pretty good delivery for some things.
I was going
And
to
then I
say,
could,
yeah.
and they could go get me, well, it is an hour away. So it is, and there's nothing out here that they would deliver to normally. So it may be like a little bit of a cost involved or whatever,
But
but
would they deliver it, or are they just like, because it usually comes from a
they would drop
warehouse,
ship it
so
or
it would be
something.
like
Yeah.
a UPS or something, I would think.
Probably. Yeah.
So in that with that being the case, like it's just like Amazon in a way.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I
That's what
mean,
I was thinking.
to me, like that would be the option I would take. I mean, you're not going to be able to buy the alcohol, that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
but
And I could go
everything else.
once. I mean, I'm not going to buy more than 2 bottles of scotch a year. Well, who knows if it's that good? I might drink it all. But reasonably speaking, I don't drink a lot of
Got
scotch,
this guy that comes
so
in from an hour away. He buys a case of scotch every
buys a
time.
case of scotch and disappears. You got a party going on? Oh, it's always a party at my
Oh,
house.
yeah.
You have some scotch. Yeah. Scotchy, scotch, scotch, scotch. But I'm really, and I asked them actually on our Facebook page, I said, I wonder if getting a membership at Costco and driving an hour one way, right? So it's an hour there and an hour back would really be worth it just for, a nice bottle of scotch. But then guys like, well, also, you mentioned the coats and gloves, and guys were talking about the clothes you can buy there. And there's some stuff at the Sam's, but again, I never really found anything that I was really,
Man, they just
I
have
thought was worth it.
They have so much good stuff. And too, they have like really cool Lego sets there. They always get
Nice.
really cool Lego sets. But yeah, like really good hats and gloves, like really nice. I like gloves, I really like them. They've got some good stuff.
Mhm.
Coats, like we bought new coats for the kids this year actually. I buy a lot of times I buy my jeans there because they have the Levi's, and those are super comfortable. But they also have like they have like they're sort of like a outdoor style of pants that are like lightweight, but they and I have some for like in the summertime that are just, if they get wet, they dry really quickly.
Zip off.
They do have those as well.
look.
Yes. Yep. I
'Cause
got
I
some
love
of those.
those.
I
I
got
love those
too.
in Phoenix. I was like, man,
Yeah.
I should have got some zip off short pants.
Yep.
That'd have been awesome.
And then on top of it, they also they bring those back, but they line them with like a fleece liner.
Ooh.
And I got a pair of those as well. And I'm looking forward to using those bad boys this winter.
Yeah. I will tell you too, fleece lined anything blows my mind again. Cause I mean, I didn't actually know what fleece was. I mean, I knew it was a really soft thing and people liked it in blankets, but I couldn't figure it out. And I got to say, it took me coming here to beautiful, beautiful middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, and enjoying this cold and realizing, oh, that's why you want a warm blanket, or that's why you want pants that are lined in fleece. I'm like, this is amazing. I don't have any, but I'm like, I can't wait to try that.
Yeah. Yeah, they have all that. And I mean, they just have so many like great things, like good food. Honestly, like the food is so good up there that they have. Just like the hamburgers well priced, the chicken's well priced. I mean, I got like a thing of gnocchi today actually, and it was like these two big, really good sized bags of gnocchi, and it was like $7, for the two.
What's gnocchi again?
Gnocchi is
ice cream thing?
Nope. It's a potato pasta. So they look like little ovals. They're really tasty. We actually have a really good recipe where we take shredded chicken and put in we make like a roux with it, and mix all that together, and it's really tasty. I'll have to get you the recipe for it because
I'm writing it down right now. I'm writing down gnocchi potato pasta.
Yeah, it's super yummy. Because it's not like a thin pasta,
yummy.
like it's a it's like a thick oval, and so like it's chewy and it's filling, which is great. But yeah, just stuff like that. they have lobster tails from time to time. They get
Mhm.
like just we're not a traditional like holiday family, so when it comes to food, like Corey and I, it's like steak and lobster is like kind of like we've really gotten into
Yeah.
that as like a
Yeah, and
we'll put the kids to bed and that's what we'll cook ourselves for
mhm.
dinner.
Yeah, and you should
Yeah, right.
enjoy what the meal is, because like I know people that they don't like turkey, and every Thanksgiving like, well, I guess and even a delicious turkey, they're just like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, we kind of get you, because I always like a ham personally. I can I could cook a ham probably twice a month, like a full,
Oh wow.
like
Yeah.
several pounds of ham, and just eat on it all the time, and the kids would eat it, and it would just I love it. So every Thanksgiving we have turkey and a ham.
Yeah.
But I think steak and lobster, I don't like lobster, but steak sounds way better than ham.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah, definitely. Well, we were talking actually tonight in our church life group about having like a Friendsgiving, because that's
Ooh,
kind of coming up, like, and so we've got, I don't know, like there's like 6 families I think in total. Um, but we were talking about doing a Friendsgiving, and they were like, "What do we want to do for that?" And everybody's like, we're not going to do turkey." They're like, "Let's get like Popeye's chicken or something like that." Like it was like, "Yeah,
yeah,
that sounds great."
right.
I
And
like that's a solid winner.
it's beautiful to me, honestly, that we're making our own traditions.
Yes.
I mean, we're taking what we want from the older generation's traditions and saying, yeah, this is great. I would love to keep doing this. Like as an example, the things we don't like a family photo. Like you got to get a family photo for your Christmas cards. My family doesn't do that well. We don't want a family photo. I have to have a goofy face for everybody first. And then we have to do another one that's like a little more, everybody try. And it's just frustrating. And unless we like go to somebody to get it, it's just irritating. Right. And so, Marnie and I are like, probably not going to do family photos anymore for Christmas cards. We just, we don't enjoy it. And it's not a tradition we want to keep doing.
Yeah.
And I'm all for that,
We don't do really that. Like, I mean, I know a lot of guys do like Christmas cards and stuff like that. And I
Mhm.
don't know. I find it like we'll sometimes like just get like a cheap thing of Christmas cards and send them out to certain people. But
Yeah.
as far as doing the whole family Christmas photo type of thing, like, yeah, we're not big on that either. I find it to
Mhm.
be very like daunting and somewhat stressful to like
Well,
how many
that's
people are
it.
going to give this out to, and
Yeah.
how much money am I going to spend on this, and do they really
And
even care that they're getting
and
it? Like,
who'd you forget?
yeah,
Because
exactly.
everybody always forgets somebody,
Right.
and who needs that stress?
But I will say, for anybody who sends them to me, we love getting them. We put them up and they get displayed and everything else. I
Yeah.
know, like, the first time I met Eric Shorberg up in Minneapolis, he sent us a Christmas one of their Christmas cards
Hmm.
that Christmas, and it was great to get it. Like I felt very like blessed. I felt
Yeah.
very loved that like he would share his family with my family that way. And so, yeah, I mean, I think every family is going to be different on it. Like I said, I do enjoy getting them. I'm just not a huge fan of sending them out.
Yeah. Yeah. I can get that. I'm going to do it this year, and I'm going to set it up to where it's automated as much as I can. And I'm going to
Yeah.
have just it print either on the envelope or stickers to put on envelopes, because it's just I really want to do it, but like you said, it's just a daunting big task.
Yeah.
And I mean, I probably have the time now. Actually, I shouldn't say that it's time necessarily anymore, but just the energy and the desire to sit there
Yeah.
and hand print. And then again, I have to live with the fact that I'm going to forget somebody.
Yeah.
There'll be somebody out there that'll be like, "Oh, I didn't get a Christmas card," and it'll be somebody important too. It'll be like my mother-in-law or something. It'll be like, "Oh, Kathy, I'm so sorry. I kind of tried. I'm so sorry." You know, but you have to again choose your traditions.
Yep.
What you're willing to put up with, what you're willing to take,
Yeah,
and just
definitely.
what you're willing to just say no. I don't want to, whatever.
I will say though, like, so like I was talking about with the whole like meeting Eric or just meeting a new guy at HomeDadCon, for instance,
Mhm.
and like connecting with them, and then like that actually turning into, friendship or whatever. I heard a really good story in the dad lounge, actually. So two guys who they talk to each other on the dad lounge all the time. I'm not going to use their names or anything like that, just because I want to put some anonymity to it. They know who they are.
Right.
So they met for the first time in person in Phoenix, and it was just like they hit it off really well. So one of the guys was talking about how he has a hard time sleeping because it gets so bright where he lives, and he battles with some migraine stuff. And I totally understand that with my wife battling that. And he was just telling his story, and the other guy was just listening very intently and taking mental notes. And he eventually, this guy went and talked to his wife, and they got this idea. They were like, hey, we need your address so that we can put you on our Christmas card list. And the other guy's like, oh, that's great, sure, no problem. Gives him information. About a week later, in the mail comes a curtain rod and blackout curtains for him. And he's like, where do these come from?
Right.
And it was just so great.
How did I get curtains?
But he's like, it was just so great to get them. And I like, getting them put up and being able to use them. And it's just like, I love that. Like, that is honestly one of the things that happens so frequently at the conventions, is you have that connection, and you're just like, I just want to show this brotherly love to like another brother, type of deal.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just something as simple as that. But I just thought that was really cool, and I wanted to share that story without using their names or anything like that. But
yeah, of course, it's their story to tell.
It is, exactly. But I just felt like this is so what the whole, like, when we talk like brotherhood of fatherhood in the organization and stuff, like it's just that immediate connection. I think Chris Gaffney wrote an amazing article.
Yeah, I read that,
about his experience with it, and just the fact of how quickly he got sucked into just all of the things going on with the convention. And then I love how he was like, yeah, I wish I'd have been at 2021 and 2020 and 2019 type deal.
My only regret is I didn't go last year.
Yeah,
because I didn't know about it.
exactly. And so, but it was just so cool to read his article, and I'll put that in the show notes too, so people can read it, because it was a great article. And I really just love the fact that he's really just running with it. And it was fun to just read his writings on that. And I'm sure there'll be more to come, honestly, because he's such a good writer anyway. But yeah, so I just wanted to share that, because I just thought that was a really cool story.
And I think it's good to point out too that a lot of what we've talked about recently has been the convention, of course, because that's probably our biggest event of the year. And for me, it's almost as big as Christmas. It's it's huge.
It's the Super Bowl.
It is. It really is. And it is something we work towards. I mean, we're already planning 2023, already planning 2024, getting everything ready, because you have to get it done, in time. So, but the community part of it, and that brotherhood that you find, and that willingness to help each other, or to give advice, or to just, you need it. Well, I'm here. Let me put my hands on that problem with you, and let's take down that awning, or paint that wall, or whatever. That willingness to help is so prevalent, not only at the convention, but first in the network. Just hands down. We have so many dads in the National At-Home Dad Network that are willing to help you, that will just surprise you with stuff. Hey, here, I heard it was your birthday. We've never even said happy birthday to each other, but I got you I got a state park pass. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to cry. It's just like, this is amazing. Yeah. But more directly, and more to my point, is the camaraderie and the brotherhood that you get from the dad lounge and from the mental health support groups.
Yeah.
Because those are smaller, closed communities, where dads can come in, and like the dad lounge, I've only been there a couple of times, and it's just sitting around with other dads, enjoying yourself, talking about your day, talking about your kids, a lot of times too, what craft beer you're drinking and what the tastes are in it and stuff like that, or bourbons.
Talking about what Phil Fry killed out on his property because he goes squirrel hunting for squirrels that are the size of freaking like cats. They're massive.
Nice. Yeah, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So, but that type of thing that you get in the Dad Lounge is, I just want to point it out that that's also an extension of, and in some ways, a reason why the network is also that way. It's definitely feeding off of each other, but the network would still be the network without the Dad Lounge, of course.
Oh, sure.
But what it has done, and what you, sir, have done through the Dad Lounge for so long, is really strengthened that feeling of community and brotherhood, and the ability to do that, to just be telling a story to another guy, and granted, sometimes we need advice, sometimes we need a hand up, sometimes we just need somebody to listen, and whatever it is, you can find that with the dads that we have. Yeah, because we're dads. We're the primary caretaker. We're the person that's taking care of everybody. And I feel like we need to be mindful of that, and to really shout it from the rooftops that it is there, and it's a big part of who we are. Yeah. It's a lot like, so like in the restaurant industry, there's always this, like, we're going to try to elevate something, something it's there and it's good already. Yeah. But like, how do we elevate it? Like we watch a lot of Master Chef, so I hear that a lot from like Gordon Ramsay and stuff. Yeah, yeah. But still, like, how do you elevate it? And I feel like, like the things like the book club, the mental health support groups, the webinar, and the Dad Lounge, like those things just like elevated the organization to like a whole nother level. And you can see it not only in just those things, but just like also too, just when you get in that stuff, like how all the communication takes place, like even Discord, like the insane like rocket ship that is wild. Because like I look at guys like Josh Domash, who, he's a pretty quiet dude for the most part, but I mean, he likes to talk too at the same time. But by God, you give him like the ability to talk about Lord of the Rings. Woo, he takes on a whole nother personality. I love his little, and his, I don't know if you read his rant about the Rings of Power, like the finale and everything. Yeah. But he ripped that show new one. Like I didn't have to read it. I could already, but go ahead. Oh my gosh. I won't even like read it, but it's like the best, like most thought out paragraph ever that if you took it to like one of the executives, they would probably be like, all right, we need to cancel this show now. Like, and I think that was his whole intention too. They'd be like, it's creative license. It's creative license. We're allowed. We could do what we need to do. He's like, I don't care. You've messed it all up. You have destroyed canon, sir. My favorite part was where he said that they resurrected Tolkien just to basically like kill him again, like just to tear him down. So, but I mean, just all he was all not things. He has not been happy with the show. No, I will say I'm not that kind of fan. I'm easy. That's just all there is to it. I like brain candy. I don't need to get into the, if I read a book, I don't need the movie to be exactly like the book. And I can enjoy both, and I might not like one or the other, like Starship Troopers as an example, which is an older movie, and the book is even far older than that, and they are almost nothing alike. I mean, I didn't even know there was a book for Starship Troopers. Wow, never knew that. It's old. Wow. And it's a great book. Love the movie, but it's a completely different. Yeah, I love the movie too. It's so and it's so awful in so many spots, but I still love it for that. But the book is nothing like it, and for me, I'm like, well, the book is the book. There are some similarities, but it's a very obvious, like, well, in the book, all of the troopers are in power armor. They're called the mobile infantry because they have power armor, and they're able to, everything from jumping 20 feet in the air to picking up an egg without breaking it. They literally say in basic training, you've got to learn to do that stuff like that. So it's a completely different feel in a lot of ways. Different. Yeah. Yeah. But it doesn't matter. The reality of it is that the book was amazing. Well, again, it came out in like the 50s or 60s, so it may not be amazing these days, but it was amazing at its time. And then the movie is completely different, but still amazing, still a lot of fun. you
Oh
know?
yeah, definitely.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So for Lord of the Rings, I'm sorry, Joshua. You can think of me what you want, man, but I'm good with it. I loved Rings of Power. I thought it was great. And I knew it was, well, I liked the female elf they put into the last Hobbit movie, Tariel. Yeah, Tariel, maybe. Legolas's semi maybe friend, but then she falls in love with Keeley because dwarves are freaking awesome. She didn't exist. She was not in the books. There was nothing like that. And I'm like, yeah, but it should be because dwarves are awesome. And Keeley's the best dwarf, I think.
That's
So,
cool. I need to go back and watch some of that stuff. So actually just got the Hobbit graphic novel at the library. So
yeah, you
kind of
showed
going
that
through
to
that.
me
Yeah,
last
so I'm
week.
excited
Yeah.
about that.
How are you liking it? I have not had a chance to read it at all. Just skimmed a couple pages.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
The artwork in it is amazing. I
Yeah.
love just reading it for that fashion. I actually, it was funny. I took a car to get it oil change and everything. And I had the kids with me, and Ruby was like, "I didn't bring a book with me," and I'm like, "That's all right." I was like, "Come up here and sit on my lap," and I started reading it to her because she loves fantasy fairies, like, all that wizards type stuff. And so
Cool.
I was kind of showing her different things about it, and she seemed to be really enjoying it. um there were parts where it seemed like she was trying to figure it out, but it was fun to just read it to her,
Hmm.
honestly, and
Yeah.
for her just to look at the pictures and things like that. So but I liked it. I thought it had a
Hmm.
really good flow to it. I haven't read like a comic style book in a very long time. Um, but it was cool. It was really cool. So
Nice.
definitely one to I'll put a thing in the show notes about that too, because honestly, like, I think most libraries have it. But it's just such a different way to read The Hobbit.
Hmm.
So, and Josh is the one that told me about it. So
Yeah.
yeah, which I love that, is that's, like I said, I'm not a big book reader, but and that was one where it's like I could pick it up and read through it and enjoy it. So
Hmm. And I don't want to sound like that it's a bad thing at all, but you have the idea of, well, it's a comic book, and graphic novels are not comic books at all. There is so much more to it. It could be considered like a really long comic book, but it's kind of
yeah,
like the
yeah.
difference between a magazine and a novel,
Right. I
you
just mean the
know.
way it flows, like with like just how you have to read it with the bubbles and
Hmm.
things like that. Like that's what I mean by it feels like a comic book. But yeah, like, no, I get that. Like
Hmm.
it's definitely different for sure.
Well, it's really it makes the read more enjoyable.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of times that's what I want out of reading. I mean, granted, there's a lot of books that I'm reading that are for education and for just to see, a view into other people's lives, things like that or whatever.
Hmm.
But I just want some brain candy.
Yeah.
I
Did you
just
know
want
that
just a
there's
little popcorn for my head.
did you know that there's actually a Bible like that?
Illustrated,
Yeah.
or I
Like
mean,
graphic novel style.
I didn't know cover to cover, no, but I
Yeah, the
kind of
whole thing
assumed there
cover to
was.
cover.
Oh, that's
It's
awesome.
called the Action Bible. We actually got one for Hezekiah for, I think, Christmas, and it's super cool. Like the artwork in it is unbelievable. It's so cool. It's a really thick book, of course,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's completely
Yeah, look at
set up
that.
like a graphic novel. It's really neat. Um, and
That's
so,
cool.
for someone like my boy who he loves reading like the Pokemon graphic novels and stuff,
Hmm.
like it was kind of the perfect thing to get him and be like, here, like you can read this, and it doesn't have to be all like, oh, I'm just reading through scripture or whatever. So
Hmm.
he loves to just pick that up every once in a while and read through different things. I feel like too, like the depictions of things are pretty spot on, honestly.
Yeah.
Like you're like trying to, like when you're reading through something like that, I mean, even if you were like reading through any religious, thing, you're trying to like picture different things. And I feel like they really nailed it with the different, you know, characters and
Hmm.
things along those lines. So
Nice.
yeah, so it's really
Nice.
cool. But yeah, I think that stuff like that is just, it's so good that it's out there. It's things that weren't really around when we were kids. So
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I mean, right now my youngest, Ruby, she turned 7 actually here in just a couple of days. Um, but she's trying to read. She's having a bit of a difficult time. Let me ask this. Actually, this kind of goes with this. So you have your first kid, you're working with them, getting them situated. They're getting close to going to school. You have your second kid. You're still working on your first kid, getting them ready for school, and you kind of like you're doing stuff with the second kid, but the first kid's really going forward. So like in in my case, like the oldest, like really good reader, like just gun ho on it. Second kid wants to read. However, we did not go as like hardcore on them as we did the first one. And so
Mhm.
there's a bit of guilt in the fashion of like, oh, this one, the youngest one is now going to go through some like reading clubs to like work on their stuff because
Yeah.
we didn't really concentrate on it. That's kind of where Corey and I are sitting at right now. Like we really are like, yeah, we kind of dropped the ball on like keeping her up to speed with him kind of deal. But at the same time too, like I do love the fact that there are schools with programs that help kids that are just like they're there, they want to, but they just need that extra bit type of deal. And
Well, I think that's the thing to remember, because maybe you didn't spend as much time. Maybe you didn't. And I'm not saying, I wasn't there.
we didn't, trust
but,
me. I'm going to be fully
beyond
honest.
that, though, the reality of it is a lot of times it's the kid. It's if you have books around and if you're reading and if you're encouraging, that's all good. And I think everyone should do that with their children. I think
or the oldest is reading to the youngest all the time,
right,
and they're just like,
yes.
I'm good.
Yeah. And whatever you need to do. But the reality of is sometimes kids just don't progress as fast.
True.
And that's why there are programs in school. I mean, my 9-year-old can barely tie his shoes. He just has the hardest time. And he's done it like 3 times. And I made great victory celebrations out of it. And we had a cookie, and all that. Literally, that's all we done. Like, yeah, all right, let's go. That was amazing. Yeah, here's a cookie. Yeah, that's it. No, we're not going. We're not going to do anything else. It's just tying your shoes. You got to get it done. But they won't stay tied. He doesn't double knot them well, and they're loosely, because he just doesn't have that.
He doesn't have that skill down.
That skill down. Yeah. But Lizzie, who's even younger, she could do it with no problem. She ties his shoes sometimes. Right. Okay. And he's not neglected in any way. It's like I didn't train him as much. And it's definitely not that he's not smart. He just doesn't have that skill.
Right.
And it's taken him a little bit longer. And I don't in any way feel that he's, neglected or dumb,
So
I just want to say that, because it's the same thing a lot of times with reading, even though you didn't spend as much time and maybe there wasn't as much impetus. Okay, fine. It's just going to take a minute longer to get to where you want her to be, and you won't even notice it,
Yeah. No, I mean, when she brings stuff home to read through it, like she does a pretty good job, like sounding out things. And I think it's more of the fact that like the speed in which she reads is slower than where they'd probably feel that she needs to be at for a first grader. So yeah, I mean, program works great. But yeah, I other than that, like she's as smart as they come, honestly. And honestly, both my kids are going to be way smarter than me. I just have to keep ahead of them as far as being able to outsmart them. But
yeah, you have to keep some tricks, but you have to keep some tricks in the back pocket just when something comes up and be like, hey, well, yeah, boom, how about that? And like, what? How did that happen?
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah,
I did have one thing I wanted to mention, because I've had a couple people ask me about it, just so that all the listeners realize this is a Zoom call that we're on.
Oh,
and we do video it. We do record it. I should say we don't video it. We record it and we put it on YouTube. And it is on the National At Home Dad Network's YouTube page.
We recorded on a VCR.
Yes, right. Did you push play and record? Wow.
At the same time?
So
I also have a cassette and an 8-track going at the same time back there.
The 8-tracks for extra sound, right? It's like that's our sound bites. Wait.
So somebody was asking about we actually have video?
Because we talked about it in the last couple of weeks about where we had put something up, and like I can show you something and you can see it and you can respond to it. But we have to say to the listeners, Danny just picked up a Post-it note, or whatever. So we have to do that because this is mostly for us an audio medium, right?
Right.
But saying that, a couple of people, 2 different people said, wait a minute, are you recording this? Is there a video of this?
Yeah.
And there absolutely is. It's not a web series. It's not a great production. It's just 2 guys, maybe 3 people on a Zoom call. So you're not missing a lot, I would say. But just so everybody knows, we do that.
I will say shout out. I will shout out one person I know specifically who always waits to be able to watch it is David Yoakum.
Really? All right, cool.
David is probably our number one viewer on YouTube for
Sweet.
watching it. Because there was one time where I believe I had not finished editing, which I don't really. I told him this, and I'll just let everybody else in on this. I don't edit the YouTube video portion of
Yeah.
it. So if you want the all the and
Ums.
anything else, or if there's something stupid that happens, and I'm like, if I say it in audio, like, oh, we're gonna edit it out, like I typically don't edit it out in the YouTube video, so you get all that extra footage or
Yeah,
whatever of us
just
maybe
an
like
upload.
running out of the room or my dog maybe attacking me. I don't know which. But yeah, David messaged me and was like, hey, you gonna get the YouTube up anytime soon? Like, I'm working on it, man. So
Nice. Nice.
but yeah,
Well,
so
shout out to David, man.
yeah, definitely. I love the fact that we do have someone who is intentionally waiting to actually watch the YouTube video, which
Yeah.
I mean, there's so the cool thing is like, so you get to see the slide usually for the title when you watch on YouTube. There's also there's a slide also for the Dad University commercial as well. So just some things like that, but yeah, it's just usually us talking with, and if we've got somebody, otherwise it's just us and a brick wall.
and very, very rarely we'll hold something up that you'd want to see, like a book or, our current drink if we're doing whatever. So,
yeah,
but definitely shout out David. I love you, man. I love you, brother. And I'm glad you're watching the videos. You're one of the maybe 4. I don't know. I don't know how many views we
You're
get
not wrong. That's probably about right. 4 or 5. Yeah. I think that the only time that I saw maybe more views was like when we did like the Star Wars one where that has lots of stuff in it to actually see, things along those lines. But which that'll be another fun. I love when we do Star Wars because we always get someone fun in that just brings cool things. So
yeah, and I don't think we should bring Art back. He has skyrocketed since being on this show. He's getting major people to come in and
maybe he can hook us up to a major
right. You dance with the one that brung you there, Art.
That's right.
Come on, man. No, he was already famous before he came here. That's for sure. But I've said it like 3 or 4 times. I am almost a little jealous. I don't know how he does it. Will Wheaton is the one that really comes to mind, and he got Will Wheaton on to talk about Will Wheaton's new book. And I was just listening. I'm like, oh my God, how did you, and for, again, for nerds, Will Wheaton, and I'm sure for like sports people, there are other people that he's had on that, that are just as, maybe not just as famous.
Well,
it's Will Wheaton. Come on.
But he had Mark Hamill on, and that was super cool.
Yeah.
And he also had the guy who plays the new Chewbacca for, I think it was for Han Solo. And yeah, so definitely Art, hook us up, man, with some of your cool contacts. Anyway, we're really getting off the rail here. Anyway, I'll say this one last thing. So we were talking about connections with people at HomeDadCon, and I really am very appreciative to one individual who saw something that I had done, and like it was just sort of like an over the shoulder thing. Came up to me later and was like, wow, your attention to detail is really good. I would be interested in talking to you about some work on the side. And like, he didn't know that that was something that I was trying to do, like as far as like finding work on the side. And so I'm in a conversation with them right now to possibly be doing some work with them.
Nice.
And I'm really excited about it. Yeah, it's something very much like inside but outside of my wheelhouse. I feel like I'll pick it up really easily. But just the fact that, like, for somebody who went to like Dad 2.0 summits, and that was like the whole thing was like connecting with somebody to like try to work with them, to go to HomeDadCon and get some of that exact same feel and be able to have that connection was just really very special to me. And I feel very honored that I've been able to get to know this person even just like during the convention, and just, hopefully getting to do some things for them. So I say all that to just basically say, like, that whole experience of going to the convention, there are so many different like elements and levels to it for different people. Like, whereas one person just needs to go to just get that big, like, breath. There are others who are there and like they're really good at connecting or networking with people, and there's an opportunity for that as well. And so, like, I'm really excited for Milwaukee. I really feel like we're gonna have a pretty good turnout for Milwaukee, honestly.
Yeah, and it's going to be. I honestly think it may turn out to be the best convention we've ever. I mean, it's just because it is so well supported and it's already being planned out, and we've learned so much in doing conventions, and honestly having people that like yourself that who have the experience, have the knowledge, and can come in and go, okay, yeah, I know you guys want to do this, but remember, if you set this up, you have to have this done, or if you have this, then you got to get a contract for that as well. Right. And having all of that experience and knowledge, and then the guys there that are just already knocking it out of the park with all their ideas and their plans and how they're going to do stuff. And it's just growing moment by moment. It's going to be epic.
It is a juggernaut. It's insane what's going on with it. But yeah, it's going to be really cool. And I honestly, like, in my head, and I'm just going to put this out there into the air because honestly, I think it's possible. I really see us getting like over 150 dads. Like, I'm not talking even just like speakers connected with that, like just dads going. 150 guys easily come into this thing. Easily.
I could see it. Yep.
So, but anyway, I don't want to get too much more pumped up.
Too excited.
Too much more excited. Yeah.
Is it September yet? No, not even close.
Yeah, I'm sure I can feel my wife right now going, "Shut up. It just ended. Give me some months without you talking about this freaking convention again." But anyway,
I think our listeners probably are there too.
I'm sure they are.
Just like, okay, guys, we get it. We like the convention. I didn't go. Shut up.
Well, then we'll just say this, just to give a teaser. We are definitely talking with some different guests to bring on. I know that you've already got one lined up for November. I feel like there's a couple other guys that who were speakers at the convention that want to come on and talk. And then there's just so many other different things with it. So it won't be just you and me talking. I feel like we're going to have quite a few more guests coming in to discuss different things. And I'm excited to see what they have to say, and just to get guys that listen to the show connected with them to be able to support what the guests are doing.
Yeah. There's a couple of guests the speakers at the convention that I'm really looking forward to talking to if we get a chance. So
yeah, awesome. Definitely. But anyway, so I put all that out there. We'll talk to you again next week, and we'll see where things go from there. So y'all have a great week, and talk to you later.
Good night, everybody.
I'm a dad, that's what I do.